In problem number 7, they're giving you a quadratic function and they're asking you to find key parts, the x-intercept, the y-intercept, the vertex, and then put this quadratic function into vertex form, which is one of the 3 forms that we've gone through this unit. We've done factored form, standard form, vertex form, and each one of them tells you an important part of the function. This one that they give you is in standard form. And standard form is important because right off the bat, you should be able to tell me the y-intercept. So I'm actually going to skip down to part B and answer that one. Because this function is in standard form, I know that my y-intercept is the constant, which is 12, the number without the variable. So my y-intercept is at 0, 12. With every one of these problems, I like to make a visual just so we can put it all together. So I'm going to make my y-axis, and I'm going to make an x-axis. And I know that my parabola is crossing at 0, 12. So I don't have to make 12 lines. I just know it's somewhere up here high at 12. Now part A is asking for the x-intercepts. And remember, to find the x-intercepts quickly, it's easiest if it's in factored form. So because this is standard form and we want to turn it into factored form, we want to go ahead and factor it. Now if you are a box method fan, this is just reversing the box. So I'll set up my box. I'll put my x squared. I'll put my 12. We know to get x squared, you know you have to do x times x. Now to get 12, there's several different ways, right? There's 1 times 12. There's 2 times 6. There's 3 times 4. Don't forget to also get positive 12. Both of your factors can be negative. Our goal is to get a negative 8 when I combine these two boxes. So to get a negative 8 when I combine them, I'm going to go with 2 and 6, but I'm going to make both of them negative. So a negative 2 and a negative 6. And let's just double check it. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x, and then negative 2 times x, negative 2x, and then these guys right here will definitely combine and give me that middle negative 8. So I know that in factored form, this would be my function. So x minus 2 and x minus 6. If you're not a fan of the box method and you use the method that I usually do in class, which is the x, you want to put your 12 on top because you want to know what multiplies to the c value, but also combines to negative 8. And that's where you would see negative 2 and negative 6 work, because negative 2 times negative 6 is 12, and then negative 2 times negative 6 is negative 8. Now that we have it in factored form, boom, we know our x-intercepts. One of our zeros is at positive 2, because 2 minus 2 is 0, and our other 0 is at positive 6, because 6 minus 6 is going to give you 0. So I've got my x-intercepts at 2 and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at positive 2 and 6. Now we're trying to find the vertex. And the vertex point is very important to remember. It's right in the middle of our x-intercepts. Now you can count, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 gaps between them. So halfway between them is 2 gaps. So if I count from 2, 3, 4, I know it's right there at 4. But I don't know if 4 comma what? Is it 4 comma negative 1, 4 comma negative 2? I don't know, so I need to make sure I plug that number in to my function to figure out where the y coordinate is. If you don't want to look at the graph and you want a really easy way to find the middle of two numbers, you just average them. So you're going to add the 2 and the 6 and then divide it by 2. So 8 divided by 2, and that's how you can also get 4 as your x-intercept. Or sorry, not your x-intercept, your vertex point. So 4 comma something. Now we're going to plug it back into the function to figure out where the y-coordinate is. I'm going to go ahead and choose to put it into factored form because I think it's easier to do the math when it's in factored form, but you're more than welcome to put it in standard form. So I'm going to substitute 4 in for x. So y is equal to 4 minus 2. And what is that? 4 minus 6? 4 minus 6. So 4 take away 2 is going to give you 2. 4 take away 6 is negative 2. And now I know where my y coordinate is for my vertex point. So 4 comma negative 4. Let's go ahead and plot it. So 4, negative 4 somewhere down there. And as best as we can, we'll go ahead and make a visual. And it doesn't need to be perfect. And we did all the hard work. Part D is pretty simple. Write this function in vertex form. So in order for it to write it in vertex form, let's make sure we know the vertex point. So your vertex point was 4 comma negative 4. So when we write it in vertex form, we're going to write y equals, flip the x coordinate, so minus 4, put the square on the outside, and then put the y coordinate at the end. And now you have your parabola in vertex form. So there's your 3 forms: standard form, factored form, vertex form. And if you want to check your work, take that graphing calculator out, put all 3 of those into y equals, as if you're going to graph each one of them, and make sure you have the same parabola. Or you can also just double check and make sure your table of values match up for all 3 of them.